things, which is, how can people with memory impairments, so Sadie, among other things, has this thing we discovered called severely deficient autobiographical memory, but she's high functioning. And of course, she's not the only one. We have many people we study like this. How is that true? And in fact, perhaps even higher functioning in some ways,
Right.
because we think that having a rich memory can actually interfere with solving some problems or functioning in the world. Because if you get stuck on a specific example that of whatever problem you're trying to solve, it's like a mechanical problem or a social problem or whatever, being effective involves actually abstracting what works across episodes. Yes, you can draw upon specific episodes and say, oh, last time I tried that, it didn't work so well. Maybe I'll try this. But really, most of it is about, most of expertise isn't about episodes. It's about learning and extracting generalities.
The first thing I thought when I was reading her book, which is amazing, about her experiences as a prosopagnosiac, which is face blindness. I thought she was excellent with words. She was brilliant. She's so witty the way she was using her words, and I was like, I wonder is the way that she connects words somehow enhanced because she's also an aphantasiac. Is that the way you say that? She has aphantasia, so she can't visualize images. So all she has is words. That's the way. Words are her mode of being. That's her mental models. That's her existence. And has that in some way heightened her linguistic abilities. She's a journalist, a scientific journalist, but like I just remember her connecting words in ways that I would never even think to do.
Absolutely. Words, and I might go further than that, to ideas, because the essence of, in some case, I mean, yes, so we talk about Sadie, she's very articulate, she's a wonderful writer, like her book, Do I Know You, is fantastic.
It's amazing. It really is.
And so for sure she has extraordinary verbal abilities, but also she has strong conceptual abilities. And in fact, when we look in similar cases, people with developmentally, so these, to be clear, all these conditions you're talking about in her case and that we're studying now in my lab are developmental conditions. They're the way you're born. They're not clinical disorders because these people are not presenting, at a clinic saying like, I can't function. They're all highly functioning. And so the thing we're interested in, severely deficient autobiographical memory or aphantasia, very similar, is we're actually finding these people have enhanced conceptual abilities. And so we're seeing a higher incidence of scientists. There's a great article by one of our index SDAM cases named Nick Watkins. He wrote a great article in Neuropsychology he's a theoretical physicist. So there's someone who traffics in abstract ideas. And he thinks, and I agree with him, that his capacities actually are related to his lack of imagery and his lack of memory, because he's really, really good at seeing, if you will, connections conceptually, and not getting distracted by irrelevant visual information.
That's so interesting, because you can, on first analysis, you could think that, of course, not visualizing is going to be a drawback, but that is a first analysis. So on if you really go deeper, you really can see how, these things, maybe we shouldn't call them syndromes or defects. They really are just alternative mental states. That's one thing that Sadie really drilled into me, is that just the conscious experience is so much more variable, and she clearly has an enormous amount of benefits. Another one that I was thinking about was the flow state. A lot of people go through a lot of effort, me included, to be able to erase the future and the past and be in the moment while working. If I have a deep work session where I'm really trying to get in the moment, and then I'm thinking, God, I can't believe 1 year ago I went in to shake that person's hand and they went in to hug, and that was so odd. And then I'd be thinking about that for 5 minutes. And I'd be like, just the most random thing would come to my head. Or when you're trying to sleep and I'm just thinking about some stupid, memory when I was 11 that I accidentally called my history teacher my auntie, just the most random stuff, and it impacts you in the moment. But if she only lives in the now, I'm really curious to know what her work sessions are like. Because you only want to be in the now when you're working, really. I mean, you're trying to connect ideas that are in front of you.
I think that's a good, interesting, observation is that, when we're in that state, we can all access that state. And I think, mindfulness is actually,
exactly.
For many people, is an effective way to not necessarily to get into that state, but to resist the distraction. So when that thought comes to you, whether it's a memory or a thought, that you can let go of it, and you can actually let go of it without interrupting what you're doing. Because there's a great state quote. I don't know who said it in Buddhism or mindfulness. They say, if you have a mind, it will wander. So it come if you have a mind, like, don't, stop beating yourself up. It's supposed to wander. That's what minds do. And so then the question is, instead of saying, man, what's wrong with me? I'm good to that. Then the skill becomes letting go of that, so that you can just basically not get stuck,
Right. I never asked her. Meditation is such an interesting one. I wonder if she could just sit there and meditate for hours and it not be an issue, because we just start, ruminating on problems. That you start thinking about all the embarrassing moments when you were 5, and all of the ridiculous things come to head. But really interesting when she isn't receiving any stimulus. And she has her eyes closed and she's not thinking about the past and the future. What is her brain doing?
You have to. I mean, I can't. I have no idea.
I know. Yeah.
So, I can say in general. I mean, I think it happens to everybody. Developing, for most of us, to develop that skill of letting go of your thoughts takes practice, and the more you practice, the better you are at it. And I don't know what it would be like for her in particular.
If you enjoyed that short podcast clip, then be sure to check out the full podcast right here.